thank you, Chairman Nagoose. As you all know, as we fight for climate change, I've repeatedly said that we don't have to choose between our planet and our economy. Some of my colleagues that continue to deny the science would have us believe that any attempt to make the planet livable for future generations would be devastating to our local communities. But those are just talking points from their corporate polluter friends who are profiting off of our suffering. The reality is that we've already made a choice between our environment and the economy, and we are unquestionably destroying our planet to line the pockets of a select few. We all have a moral calling to transform the relationship between our environment and the economy into a mutually beneficial one where we put people to work in well-paying union jobs in service of our planet. I'm excited about the idea of the Civilian Climate Corps that connects environmental justice with economic and racial justice. And I'm thrilled to have witnesses before us today who have already been doing this work for years. And so, Ms. Gale, I just have one question for you. When are you coming to Detroit? Because your work, running Green City for us, I just am dreaming of you coming to our city in Detroit, where I have the most polluted zip code. I mean, I grew up thinking that smell was normal, Ms. Gale. I didn't know that many trucks were not in other communities. I didn't know that my friends all getting asthma wasn't normal. And so can you talk a little bit about that environmental justice work and how it serves that economic and racial justice work? I think that is so incredibly important to communities like mine.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. Another reason why I'm very excited about the potential of this national investment on a bigger picture is because we absolutely are interested in other cities and other parts of the country and, potentially over time replicating. We've done assessments of potential expansion in Chicago. In the past, we've been invited to go to Barcelona. Detroit would be fully aligned. We also are trying to grow significantly within New York City and NYCHA as well. And so that is literally the conversation we're constantly having. How do we have continued impact where we are in New York City, where the need is great, and then also leverage partnerships beyond? My short answer is national investment to commit to long-term sustainable ways to plan for growth strategically and hit all of these partners nationally is absolutely a goal.
And your graduates are like averaging what, $16.50 an hour?
As a year in, and then they move up as they grow. So they're going. Before the New York City wage minimum was $15 an hour, they were hitting that. And so historically, since 2009, they've a year out been at $16.50. But, we need that to continue. We need there to be benefits. We want to get folks into unions. We need the career paths. And that's why we stick with our graduates for next steps and partner with apprenticeships and employers. And
so you're coming to Detroit next year, I hear. So, Mr. Robles, along those lines, it sounds like your Ancestral Lands Conservation Corps is accomplishing similar things with Indigenous young people. Can you talk about the regional localized conservation corps and how it can benefit from unique perspectives of young people in many of our communities across the country?
Well, yeah, our focus has always been to be community driven. So we were started in the Pueblo of Acoma by Mr. Cornel Toribio, a member of the Pueblo of Acoma. Again, we saw the opportunities that other conservation corps were bringing and the impact that it had on young folks from across the country. And he saw the need for it in his own community. And then every one of the communities that I mentioned that we work in, the Pueblo of Zuni, the Navajo Nation, the Hopi Nation, here in Albuquerque, where I'm based, working with urban, Native, and Indigenous young folks. It's been the community that has approached us, seen some of the successes that we've had in our Acoma program and other programs that we've started, and worked with us to bring the program to our communities, utilizing the Conservation Corps as a model, but also recognizing that our communities have unique challenges as well as unique strengths. And so we want to tailor the program to meet the needs of our communities and to meet the strengths and the resources that we offer for the community to be able to create the solutions that we see, expanding the definition of conservation to include our perspectives, to include our lifeways, and for us to create the solutions that we need to see for our own communities, as opposed to having outside entities coming in and dictating what those solutions look like. So we've seen great success in that community-rooted model. We're driven by community. We're connected to community. and our community creates our programs. Traditional Farm Corps is an example in the Pueblo of Acoma that was created from a need that the community saw to preserve their traditions and their heritage around agriculture and create a program that can meet the needs of the community.
No, thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield.